Hey everyone, I'm Cara Di Falco, and this week in the Cucina, we are celebrating Easter. We're making my Grammy's pizza Gaina recipe, or Pizza Rustica is another way to refer to this. And this is the meat and cheese pie that is used particularly in southern Italy to celebrate Easter. Of course, we've been fasting during Lent, not eating meat. So this was a way to kind of pack everything into one dish and really celebrate the Easter, that Easter has come in the Easter season. So we are using prosciutto, which is ham that has been coated with black peppercorns, pepperoni, some sweet Italian sausage meat out of the casing. We've got basket cheese, which is kind of a unique ingredient. If you live in New Jersey, it's relatively easy to find. You want to go to a specialty market or an Italian market. Thankfully, we're full of those. Out of the area, I'm not exactly sure where you can find it, and it's, again, pretty unique, so you may not be able to substitute for it. And then we've got 1 cup of fresh ricotta. And when you're making a holiday dish, you always want to get the best ingredients, so make sure you get the fresh ricotta. We've also got some Parmesan cheese and 8 eggs, and a little pinch of baking powder we're going to use as well. Now this recipe makes 2 pies because in my house we're always feeding a crowd. There's always at least 30 people for any given holiday, but feel free to halve it if you only want to make 1. We're going to start by browning our sausage. I've got about 3/4 pound of sweet Italian sausage meat here. Our sausage is browned through, so we're going to put this onto a paper towel lined plate so we drain some of the fat out of it. The rest of the dish is mostly cutting, so we are going to chop all of these pieces of meat as well as the cheese into small little bites that you would want to take a bite out of when you eat the pie. So you see with the basket cheese, it kind of has a similar texture to tofu, so it's pretty firm. It has a very mild flavor. It really just kind of helps to bind the dish together. Now the cheese is going to melt and kind of combine all together, but the meat obviously will not. So you want to kind of dice it a little bit of a smaller piece so you're not getting big chunks of meat in your bite. In a much larger bowl, we are going to add in our 8 eggs, the 1 cup of fresh ricotta, a nice big handful of Parmesan cheese, and that pinch of baking soda, baking powder, and then we're going to mix in our cheeses and our meats as well. We're also going to add in our sausage meat. Grammy never really measured out the Parmesan in this recipe. It was really only by eye, so I typically do about a handful. I know my hand is about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup, but again, I might do a little extra. You do it by eye. And just a little pinch of baking powder. I have my pie crust prepared and ready to go, and we are going to fill these up. In case there wasn't enough eggs in this for you, we are just going to brush the tops of our pie with a little bit of egg wash before we put them in the oven. We're going to bake our pies for about 1 hour to 1.5 hours until the crust is nice and golden brown in a 350-degree oven. And that is how you make my Grammy's Pizza Gaina. I hope you all have a wonderful Easter. Enjoy this recipe and all of your own traditions. Buona Pasqua, Buon Appetito.